Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the demo for lesson 10. And I'm going to switch it up a little bit from what I did in the notes yesterday. But we're going to start with the keyboard reader. So please make sure that you have your import statement and you have created a scanner. I'm going to call mine this time. Let's call it KB Reader just to be consistent with what I did in the notes. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, make sure it compiles. So our first example in this lesson for switch, we're going to switch on an integer. So I'm going to type in a series of SOPLN statements. That's going to give us this menu. So select math operation, and I'm going to copy this. 4 times. And a 1 will mean add, a 2 will mean subtract, a 3 will mean multiply, and a 4 will mean divide. Okay, so now we're going to read the input from the keyboard. Int ANS equals KB reader, next int. And then on the line before, let's go ahead and put in those integer parameters. So we're going to say int x equals 50, y equals 234. Those are just random numbers that I selected. Now I'm actually going to change up what we're going to do a little bit in here because I want to show you how in your case that it can be more than one statement that you're executing in a case block of code. So I'm going to create a variable called answer. And for each case, this is where our answer is actually going to be calculated. And then we'll do our concatenation statement with this with answer for each case. So I'm going to initially set it to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and compile. And at this point, all we're doing is entering in an operator. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started on our switch statement. So kind of like an if then else, it's going to be important that once you say switch, and we're switching on this integer input ANS, that you put in one set of curly brackets. So everything in the switch statement is going to go inside here. Then we're going to have all of our cases for the different options. So we're going to have a case 1, a case 2, a case 3, a case 4, because we have 4 different number inputs. And then also I am going to put a default in, and remember the default's optional. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just go ahead with the default. I'm going to do a little bit of indenting here, and we're going to SOPLN a statement that says invalid input. All right, so in the notes I show you that we're actually going to do those calculations for addition and subtraction, multiplication, and division. So like I said, I'm going to do this a little bit different than I did in the notes. So I'm actually in answer. I'm going to calculate the sum for case 1 because case 1 is addition. So the answer is going to be x plus y. And then I'm going to put a print statement where, like in the notes, I say x plus y equals. And then I'm going to concatenate that with answer. And then after this one, I'll put in the break. Oops, break is lowercase. I'm going to go ahead and hit this command up here to generate CSD so everything lines up. So answer is going to store our addition, and we're going to repeat this process for case 2, subtraction, case 3, multiplication, and case 4, division. Once we have this set up for case 1, we can do a copy-paste for each one and then just edit. So let's go back up to subtraction. I'm going to hit my generate CSD to line things up. So I'll go ahead and edit this one and the print statement. Multiplication, I'll edit this one and the print statement. And finally, the last one, which is division and the print statement. So remember, with a switch statement, once I input a number, it's going to do just one of the cases. And if none of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 are selected, it'll do the default. So I want to compile and run that and test it. So we're going to go ahead and let's do subtraction. So I should end up with a negative number, and I do. So let's run through all the cases. There's addition. Let's do multiplying. Let's do dividing. And now I'm going to enter a number that's none of those options. And as you can see, I get invalid input. So it's a quick way to do an if-else-if based on user input of either an integer or what we're going to do next, a character. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to